it's Vanessa filming for Carolyn's Musings on YouTube and Etsy and One Way Journals on Facebook. So what I've got for you today is my first ever little golden book, how I've altered it and to make it into a journal. So I've actually made two. So this is one of them. So it's got dangles on the side, and then this one that I have embellished a little bit more on the front. So there we go. So without any further delay, let's get straight into, if you've never made one before, let's get into the journal kit that I'm using for it, which has got a beautiful Christmas Birth of Christ theme, and then how we actually alter one so that we can keep this iconic golden strip for the spine. I can imagine if you haven't done this before, like me, it's nerve-wracking. You don't want to rip anything. You want to keep everything intact as much as you can. Fortunately, I was able to find 2 copies of this book. The best way to do this is if you've got a heat tool. I'm not sure if it will work with a hairdryer, but this is from my stamping days. I've got one of these. Is you can heat this golden strip and lift it and peel it back carefully so that you can get the staples out. So I'm going to reduce the sound. So we just want to heat it to the point of where we can peel it, and so you can see now that's starting to lift. Okay, and now that should be a lot easier for me just to continue to heat underneath. Okay, so that actually worked really well, and it's really good because I haven't ripped this trying to peel it or get it off, which is brilliant. We're just going to continue to heat. Just gently peeling that back. Okay, now that I can get my handle on here, I can get the heat in from this side just to help lift it up. Okay, so there we go. Look, we've got it off in one piece. Okay, so it's still going to be a bit sticky on that side. Now what you want to do is whatever tools you've got on hand. So I've got a bit of jewelry making tools and also my awl. I tried with these last night and found them a bit difficult. I found the awl easier. Just please be really careful. So this is the bit that can be a bit tricky because you just want to get in under there and lift that up. And I can see already it's not, maybe not as bad as the other one, as it was, you know, they had rusted a bit. Okay, and I'm just trying to straighten those up so they're easier to pull off. Okay, so that's good. Now let's get the back cover and try and ease that off. Okay, great. There we go, got that one. And then the pages should lift out pretty well. Okay, fantastic. And then obviously now we want to lift these up. And so it's easier for me to come back and get one of these tools just to try and lift it out. And that actually broke it, which is okay because it means I'll grab it from this end. Just be careful that you get a really good hold on it. And that one just broke it and went flying. You don't want these little shards anywhere in your craft room. Okay, that one's come out. So make sure you get rid of these. I've got a bin right next to me, so I'm going to put them straight in there because you do not want to step on those. What I need to do is go and measure this distance here, which, let me just let you know, I mean, yours might be different. You do need to double check. So this one is 2.5 centimeters, which is 1 inch. If you want to make it bigger and put more signatures in, you can definitely do that. What you would do is just do your normal journal cover with whatever chosen spine thickness you want, and then you could use these, you know, maybe cut this strip off and then use that as your topper on the top of your journal. So let's put this back together. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to run a bit of tape just to hold this together. I thought I had a wider strip of double-sided tape, but I don't. But I will just stick that down. It's not gonna really hold it together that well, but it's just gonna help me while I flip it over. Just burnish that down. Don't have to do this step, it's just gonna help me that it won't slip when I turn it over. So here we go back to this side and just make sure that's all even and together. And now I want to stick this back on, so that's going to go back there. So you can use tape or your preferred glue. I'm going to use glitter glue because we know that's not going to budge. So let's get this back on. And we're going to let that dry. So this is a 1-inch spine, so I've cut this down to 7/8 of an inch, and what you want to do is make sure that it fits within your book like that. The best way to do this is just make sure that you can still obviously fold. So this strip, if you're checking your width, just grab your, I've got another one here, just grab your piece and make sure that it will go in and out, that you'll be able to slide it in, and that's how you'll know that you've got it right before you stick it down. Okay, so let's put some glue down. I'd really like to have a tassel on the spine, and normally I love to use these antique-y sort of coloured ones on my journals, but I do have some gold ones, and with this being a golden book I thought that would be great. So what we want to do is make sure that when we pierce that and that goes in there, it sits right up at the top, because when we sew in the signatures we don't want it to interfere with that. So we want to punch a hole in the middle there, but we want to do it before we put down the paper to cover this, so it will be held in place. It's easier if you actually take it apart and then put that there to make sure it sits up the top. And I'm just going to put a little dot there. Okay, and we want to poke a hole through, so just be careful. This should go through the center where that line was, where the two come together. So there we go. It's right there. Now you might want to poke. I'm going to see if I can get it to fit through, but if you're having difficulties, you might want to use your hole punch or your crocodile. Okay, let's stick that through. Fabulous. There we go. And then just splay out your prongs. There we go. Now we want to do is grab our piece, so whichever way it's going to go, I think it'll go up that way, and we want to score. So we're just going to try and help this little fold down the spine. And we're just going to help it along a bit by scoring it. So we're just going to score at 1 and then at 2. And then I'm just going to fold it. My advice is to glue down the center first and get that as straight as you can, and then as we're bending we're going to be gluing down the side bits. And then run it past the folds a little bit, and then on the left and right edge we can always add that in a minute. So let's just get this lined up. Okay, now let's finish this. And now we want to press down our glue on either side, because we want that to come in. Now when you do this, don't press too hard that you break through it, but you just want to train it to sit in that fold. Okay, Now, how are we going? Yeah, that's sitting pretty flat there. That's what we want. We want that center bit to be sitting flat there and here. And now I'm going to add a bit more glue. So that's the cover done, and so now let's have a look at what we want to do with the pages. Now, if I haven't mentioned this before, when you pull out your pages, they're actually in 2 signatures. So that's fabulous because it means that we can have 2 signatures in this journal, and it means we can separate the pages, but they'll still be in the right order for the story that comes along. Now, one thing we do need to keep in mind is if you're not creating a whole new spine, because we are using that folded part of the spine, it's actually shortened this section across here, which means our pages are too wide, as you can see here. So we are going to have to cut off. Now, what I've seen on, let's just see how much that would be. It's sort of just over 1/2 inch off the right hand side of the pages, and most of the time you can see that it doesn't cut off the words, but it could cut off some of the images. So that's the only option if you want to keep your pages in order and keep them, you know, with the fold that's in the center. If for some reason you look at your pages and you think, oh, I just really don't want to cut off that image with 1/2 inch, what you could do, and the only reason I'm considering this is you'll see why in a minute, I might consider cutting off 1/4 inch off the left and 1/4 inch off the right to even it up, and then we stick them together with some folded, like a folded spine, so each one. The reason why is, what can we do to flush out this? So we want to make it more pages obviously than this because we've got a 1-inch spine. So what you can do is, what's lots of other golden books that I've seen is that people have gone through all their scrapbooking papers, so you can grab and see what you've got in stock. But I of course want to use one of Carolyn's kits, so let me introduce you to this kit. It's called the Birth of Christ journal kit, and Carolyn has it as a normal journal, so it's got your 2 half pages, and so it would normally look like a journal double page flip out, but the beautiful Carolyn has adjusted the size for me so that it will fit in a golden book. And so we will link it in the description box, because I think she'll be able to make it if you do have a golden book and you want to craft along. I think she'll be listing it on Ko-fi, but we'll put all the links up there. What she's done is, when she sent me the file, it actually is portrait, and so it comes out that way, which is really easy to print front and back, because if you print it this way, don't worry about the wasted paper. It's just what we have to deal with, considering that we've got these larger pages with the golden book. When you print this one, you just turn it over and feed it back through the printer that way. Now, when I went to go print, I forgot to change the setting, and it printed everything on landscape instead of portrait. And because I don't have US letter size, I have A4 size. When I go to feed it back so it will sit up the right way, it's not gonna go right. So that's silly me. But you have the option with these pages to print it where it's supposed to be, portrait, and print front and back the designs of the kit. But what I'm going to do is, these are all single-sided, which you'll see at the moment. I'm going to print Christmas papers on the back. All right, let me show you what they are. So that's just a neutral that is provided in the kit. And then here we go. This is a hymn sheet, O come, Emmanuel. Isn't that beautiful? Mary had a little lamb. So the lyrics, or poem actually from that, poem. And then this beautiful, so this kit is all in sort of like the watercolor. So this is the nativity scene. And then this one will probably go towards the back of the book. All the Christmas presents in the world are worth nothing without the presence of Christ, written by David Jeremiah. So that's beautiful. And then here we go. You'll be able to see more of that sort of watercolor effect. So there's the angel. And so with the manger and the animals there, so that's beautiful. This one, when Christ was born. Another image with an angel. O Little Town of Bethlehem. So beautiful hymn music, sheet music there. Oh, come all ye faithful. So they all just match so beautifully. Another one here in the background, it says, I came upon the midnight. So there we go, Mary with baby Jesus. And then this one, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Gosh, it's just so pretty. Oh, there we go. And then here we go, Oh Holy Night. And then this one. And Little Drummer Boy. That one. And then this one. And then this one. So because I think if you printed them front to back, you would have, you know, enough pages to put in this little golden book. Because I'm going to be printing Christmas papers on the back, I'm probably going to have enough that I have got the two books, so I will be splitting them up and putting, you know, a few pages here and a few pages in the other one. Right, to prepare for our signatures, what I've done is just grabbed a piece of paper or cardstock that is 7/8 of an inch wide, that is the same height, so this is just under 8 inches tall, so that's going to sit here on the spine. And then what I did was just fold it in half to find the center point, and then where you punch the holes here, that's approximately 3/8 of an inch from either side. And so what you do is you can clip it down if you like, but just center that. So make sure we've got the center, and then just, you know, put a little dot in there, and there, and there. I was a little bit low on that one, but try and even it out. Oh, look at that, I didn't get it. So you can see that was a little bit skew width, so that's okay. You know it's around that point. I'm just going to move it over there and about there. That looks about even to me. I think that's pretty good. Okay, now to punch your holes, if you have a crocodile, the really big crocodile which reaches to the middle, you could do that to use the smaller setting, that one, to cut your holes in there. So there'll be a bigger one to try and get through the thicker spine. So if you've got that, now I don't have the long one, so I do have one of these. It's like a bookmaker's punch, but I've lost a lot of the little doodads go in here, and it falls out a little bit and slips on me. So what I want to do is probably, I'm just going to go use my awl just to get a starting point on them. And 1 inch from the top means that it's not interfering with that ring there. Okay, and let's hope it doesn't slip. I don't know if you've seen these before. There we go, it did work. Okay. There we go. And then these ones. I've been working away at the signatures, and so just to confirm what I have done, I've cut down these pages from the book. So I've made them a little bit off the right and a little bit off the left, which means I have had to join them together. But that's because I wanted more of a centered page instead of hacking off more of it on the right hand side. So I've been doing that, and I'm sort of getting towards the end of, well, I've got to the end of the second signature. So I just wanted to show you what I've done. Now remember, when you print these out, they should be portrait, it doesn't matter. I've got them landscape, and I've printed a pattern on the back. So one that I've already cut down, which is this one, it's got that on the back. I am just going to measure it here and just center it, and just putting a pencil mark, and I'm going to cut that down on either side. Now I'll just reiterate, if you are going to make a whole new spine and you want your journal to be wider with a bigger spine, you would keep this section and therefore your pages would be wider, and then you don't have to cut them down. This is only if you want to keep it to a 1-inch spine and you want to keep the golden spine on the top of it. Okay, so you wouldn't need to cut these down. So Carolyn has done these as a perfect size if I want to do it an alternative way next time, but I am going to cut these down. So let me just do that. And then the pattern that was on the back, here we go. These are all my strips that I've got as leftovers. I cut them down to 3/4 of an inch and then fold them over, and these are my strips that are binding the pages together. Okay, so this one here has been cut down, and what I want it to go that way, and then that's going to be on the back. So let me pull these out of the way, and that one. So it is going to sit like this. Yes, I'm confirming that's on the front. So here's the strip that I've already folded in half. So once again, that's 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to cut that bit off because it's too long. There we go. And then how's the best way that I do it? Okay, so what I do is the front of the page is here, so I butt that up to the crease, and then I glue it here. So if we butt that down, like that, press and fold, fold and press. Okay, and then flip it over. This page I want to go that way, so I'm going to butt it up again to the fold, make sure that that's all even, pull this back, glue this, really simple. Do that, and there we go. I've joined the 2 pages together. So there's a bit of a gap in there, you can double check that. And just that, neaten that up again. So I've got a bit of vellum at the front. Now because it's an A4 sheet, it's too short, so I'll probably stitch some paper on, or some lace. I don't know if I want lace in this one. I might put it in the second one, so I might just try doing a strip of paper. I'm not sure yet. So there we go, that's how that's done. And I just need to come back here. You'll see that I've already done it on these pages. There we go, so they've got a strip, and I just have a couple more of these pages to do, so I'm just going to go do that. So I had a bit of a think. Now the vellum I've decided actually to use, I'm going to use the star one on the other journal. This one I found a couple of sheets of this sort of like confetti, and so it's just a little bit short, this one. So what I've done is, with an offcut, I've just grabbed it and made sure all my pages are in together. They did splay out a little bit, so I've just sort of cut down the sides so they're as even as I can get them. And then what I want to do is, with the vellum here, is lift it up, and then, so this is what this strip is, 1 3/4, but obviously it depends how wide you have to go as to how short your vellum is if you wanted to put a vellum cover. So what I'm doing is just putting that there, lining it up the top. I'm going to cut the bottom off with the excess, fold that over, and then I just want to scoot it to the edge of the papers so I know that it's going to match up on the right hand side like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is hold and lift up. Okay, splay that out, and then grab my glue, and I'm just going to run sort of like, I'm just dotting it to catch the front, inside and the back. this isn't going to hold it fully down, but it's just going to keep it in place for me. And then press that down. That means I now know that I've got it in the right space. So I've got a pin in my mouth, like that I can then now take it to the sewing machine and I can run a stitch down the edge, but it's just going to make sure it stays in the right spot for me. So I'm going to go do that to the back of this sheet with another strip, and then the other one for the other signature, and come back with a few more maybe decorating ideas or things that I want to include. So when you're using scrapbooking papers, you can use Christmas papers, you can use digitals, you can use envelopes, you can use a whole bunch of scraps so that they're different sizes. Because I was using digitals, they are all the same size. With the Birth of Christ journal kit, there's some ephemera in there. So these are some little notelets. You can never truly enjoy Christmas until you can look up into the Father's face and tell him that you have received his Christmas gift. John R. Rice. So there's that one. And good news from heaven the angels bring, glad tidings to the earth they sing. To us this day a child is given to crown us with the joy of heaven. Martin Luther. Sorry, I was trying to get that last word out as a sneeze was coming. Okay, and then we've got some tags here. There's a couple of them, and then there's a fussy cut here which says the magic of Christmas is not in the presents but in his presence. So I'll probably maybe put it on that tag, which is O come all ye faithful. So that's just faded, that music sheet, and so we have that, and we have a couple of these, and we have this which you could glue down 3 sides and create it as a pocket. I sort of did 2 together and created like that. I'm so sorry, my nose is starting to run, and so I might try and see if I can do a flip. Okay, so I'll put that aside, and then with some pockets, and I'll do that all off camera. You probably don't need me to see me do that, but you'll see them in the final flip through. And I just wanted to do a notepad. Let me see if I can find the page I was going to put it on. So it's going to be on this one here that I've just left as, this is a neutral, so you can actually print this one off as many times as you like. So I'll just put that aside. Oh no, what am I going to do? I'm going to... Oh, you know, one thing I did, I decided to do that as a belly band, and then on the page, and then the notepad is going to sit over the top of it, and I forgot to check if it's going to measure, but it will, so that's all good. So what I've done is just got one of those spare strips and just folded over a little bit on either side, and then I'm going to glue this down. So probably around about there. So just glue either end. Okay, so that's ready on the page. And then for my notelet, so I printed this bit off a little bit smaller, and then just used some coffee tea dyed paper that I had, and so we'll just get those even. Now I don't normally use staples, but I'm going to, so I've just got this tiny little cute staple, and I'm just gonna staple that along the top. There we go. Oh, and I'm glad I had that up the right way. And then I cut another spare piece, folded it in half, and that's going to glue on the top to hide those staples. Okay, so I'll glue that one down. And then this page here, it said, and an angel of the Lord appeared to them in shining glory, and they were all afraid. So I thought that this will sit on the top like this, so we'll just loop it in. Oh, how did that glue down? Okay, that's right. This will sit in here like this. There we go, like that. And then this was an angel. So the Gospel of Luke journal, I purchased that. It was one of my very first purchases from Carolyn last year. I love that. Love, love, love. It's beautiful. So it's got all the chapters leading up where you read a chapter each day in December. And so there was this beautiful image in that. So I grabbed that and enlarged it a little bit. So I thought I would add an angel to the front of the notebook that will go on this side here. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down, and I just wanted to show you how easy it was to make a little notepad and a little belly band to add to this little golden book. Now you might have some angels in your stash or any of your digitals that you might want to use. There we go. And I think that little wing went just over a smidgen. There we go. In the middle of this signature, I did print off, so there was, in the ephemera, there was this envelope, so I've decided to, instead of on the outside, I've done it on the inside and just printed off one of these. This is from the Calico Christmas paper kit, so I thought that sort of red and green would go great in here and just sort of contrast a bit with that yellow. So that's going to go. Now, if you haven't seen this before, if you decide to put an envelope in the middle of a signature, what you need to do is position it. Now, when I go to sew it in, this one's just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Normally it comes down an inch from the top, so it's going to miss and only be held on with one center point. So what I'll do is when I line it up ready to sew in, I'm going to move it down or up, either way. Might go up, I don't know. And so that it will capture at least the top or the bottom plus the middle one. And when you do that, make sure you leave it open, and then once it's been sewn in, then you can close up the sides and glue that down. Okay, that'll just make everything to make sure that you get it all even and that you're not tying this. All right, so that one's going to go there. Now there are a couple of these in the kit, and so what I thought I might do is just chop out the center of this one and then put this one in behind. So this is like a framed pocket to then put this in. It could either be the top or a side tuck. So I'll just go to cut this out. Now I think I'm just going to follow the line here instead of going straight. The reason why I'm going to do the outer one is because the writing on this goes over that, so that's why I've done that. So we'll just continue on. Okay. And I don't think I've mentioned before, I haven't inked. I normally ink absolutely everything. I decided I didn't really want to ink the pages from the storybook, so I haven't inked any of the pages. So there will be a bit of inking to give definition, but I don't want to overdo it. Okay, will that pop out? Oops. There we go. Right, just need to rip that a little bit. Oh, I don't have my really sharp scissors with me. Hang on. Talking to myself, aren't I? And so I might just, add a little bit of ink around that, just in case you can see a bit of the white where I've cut it. And then I've got a bit of acetate, so you could use vellum or acetate, anything like that. And we're just going to glue that on the back. Right, so that's going to go on this page here. And so this one I cut down just marginally. We're going to have to see if I need to cut it down a little bit more, if it won't stick. Now, I could do that as a side to go out that way, or I could do a top one. And I'm thinking I might I might do a top one. The only reason being is instead of trying to put glue here, I'm thinking if I put a bit of glue here, 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 and here, that'll give me maximum space and it's not going to swing around. So I think that's what I might do. Okay. So I'm sure you know what I mean. If it's going to be going down that way, I might, hopefully that doesn't buckle up. And it's just going to give me, instead of the glue taking up space, it's going to give me maximum space. And so I think I'm going to have to cut that down a bit more. Okay, I'm going to have to let that dry because that just popped that corner. But anyway, that'll be cute, won't it? And so once I've let it dry, I need to glue that again. I'll decide how far it goes down and if I need to do like a pull tab or something off the top there. The only other thing I have done was I did go to the sewing machine and I did sew down those, so those strips are now on the vellum. I had another notebook idea, so I've been having a bit of a play to see if I can get this to work. So I'm using one of these little ATC cards, journal cards, and it's from these ones here. They are from, as well as this one, and A Saviour is Born, little star fussy cut. These are from the Birth of Christ folio. Now I made that for my mum for Christmas last year and she absolutely loved it, and I should make some more, so I'm sorry I don't have one to show you, but it's the most gorgeous little folio. I'll link it in the description box so you can have a look at that on Etsy. So what I've done was I grabbed one of the spare sheets, so as you can see it's that on the back, and I've glued it with the, you know, that bit. You'll see what I mean. So I've glued that on the front and then just made sure it's in half. This bit is going to be glued to the page, so you can see why now I've got the pattern here and I've got the pattern here. And then I've cut a slit in here. I made that about 5.5 centimeters. Sorry, I haven't done this one in inches this time. So just made a slit, and the idea is then I will glue down 3 sides and then a little notebook to fold in there that can be pulled out, so that's why you're gluing it down the 3 sides. So it was 5 centimeters across. What's 5 centimeters in inches? That is 2 inches. So I've just used some of these some of this paper. Now it's not tea or coffee dyed. I can't remember what I used to get that color, but it's sort of a grayish blue. So what I did was I just cut them into strips, folded them in half, and what I've done is just with a scrap of paper card, I've glued on there because you need something a little bit firmer. Paper is going to be difficult to slide in and out, but you'll see here that slides in and out. And I was going to cut it off the top, and I went, no, I'll just leave that on the top. Now, you could just leave it like that, but I wanted a couple of pages, and the easiest way I could think of connecting those together is actually just glue that one to the back of that one. So that's what I'm going to do. And I can always cut a couple more strips if you want to make it a fuller pad. So of course you can do this a lot bigger. I've just got a small ATC cut. Don't know if I've cut that straight. Anyway, there we go. So that middle page is going to be a little bit thicker, but that's okay. Hang on, the top one. And that was just slightly off that cut. No, I don't even think it's worth worrying about. Okay, so anyway, that's given me, there's the back page, then those two are glued together, and then the top one, and then you just can keep layering them up if you like, if you want to make more. And so that will go in there like that, and then we're going to glue down the 3 sides to the page. So just make sure when you're measuring that you have enough of a border around so that the glue doesn't interfere with your insert. And yes, to keep it from pulling off the page, not 3 sides, it's going to be 4 sides. We just need to have a gap for that, and I might put it down towards the bottom right. So you just want to be creating a gap in here. Okay, and let's put this back in again. Not longer that way, but a little bit wider if you want it a bit easier to get in, but that's okay. There we go. So there's another idea. What else have I done? Oh, I scanned this image here onto my computer, flipped it, and then enlarged it a little bit. And so then that's the angel that I've just fussy cut. I've put that there, and then I've just glued it down this bit, and it can create a little pocket there. I've just created a pocket here with a journal card. Here, the paper I have, this was an offcut from, what was it, the last Christmas sort of card box set. I reprinted that, and so I had that left over, so that's just a backed and a journal card to go in there. This one, I just grabbed this paper and did a perfect square, folded it diagonally that way, and then glued down 3 sides to create a pocket in there. I don't think I've done much more yet. Oh, this one, just one of the offcuts there, created a side pocket, and this page here was from the Gospel of Luke. So, you know, the journey into Bethlehem, I thought that would be, that's just backed, and that's just sort of a sheet sitting on that one. Haven't done anything there yet. Just one of those ATC cards glued 2 sides, so it created a little corner pocket there. And I think that's about as much as I have done, and I need to go check my video because I'm not sure how long I have. And there's the other notepad that's in that section there. Oh, and this was just something from my stash, so that was an envelope with some writing paper that I was going to stick in there. And as you know, that one needs to be sewn in. And this one was where I actually mirrored the image and then just created a flap and stuck that on the side there, that tag, and I've just stuck that tag in that little flip. Okay, all right, I will just check how long I've got in the video and whether I can show you sewing it in or any of the other little ideas, because I still have things to make more pockets and fill things in. Okay, so I've made 2 and I don't have much time left on this video and have to get it uploaded and need it to be in under an hour. So we're going to go through this really quickly. So this is the first one that I made, and then we're going to have a second one which is embellished a little bit more. Now with this one, I accidentally touched the strings on the side and I was a little bit worried. So I found this lace to go over the spine so that you could still see the golden bits underneath. So that's why I popped that there. And instead of doing a tassel, I've just added you know, some chain, and then I put miracle on here with Jesus and a cross as well. And this one I haven't embellished as much. This one's going to a little boy, and just put this one here, glory to the newborn king, on the front. I've put a bow here, and then it's just got some ribbon sitting on the spine of this one plus the corners. Okay, so yep, the vellum is on the front of both signatures. I just love this image so much. And then this, if you've got some Christmas cards and things that you want to add to your kit, you can use those. This just says God says I am with a Christmas theme. Just some little things that I had, little cards and things that you can have in your stash. And what I've done is I've filled a lot of them with some colouring sheets, cards in there, so that's in that, and I need to put some in the second one. So this is the page that we've done where I've just a very plain card there, because I thought they could put photos of Christmas on those, and then they can write on here. And then this one's just got a little tag with some ribbon. So these little tags come from the Birth of Christ folio, so where I've got that tucks in there. So this comes with this Birth of Christ nativity, please, I think it does. So that's just a candle tag there, and then the Luke, Gospel of Luke journal. I love that. This was a page from there, so I've added this because this is about Mary and Joseph going to Bethlehem. And these, you'll see pockets and tags throughout this, and I've actually pulled it in from a kit. Sorry, it's Christmas hymns ephemera. That's where that's come from. And then here's my envelope, and I've just put a little pocket here. That's from the Christmas hymn ephemera. Put that from this kit, and then this is from the Christmas ephemera. There we go. It's got beautiful hymns on the back of each one. So I've sort of split them up between this one and the other one. This is just a card from, actually I forgot to fold that, my ink around the edges. Just a little notelet with a pocket. This is from the kit. This one is from the folio, the Birth of Christ folio. This is from the Christmas ephemera. Oh, I just love these so much. I used them as cards last year, and then I've just created a hidden paper clip in this one. So this was one of the pieces from the Christmas ephemera. So that's just holding that on there. So that's holding an envelope on that side. And then this is the one that we did together. Build a stable foundation through a little window there. Once again, this one's been stuck down to the page to write on it, Christmas ephemera, and then just put this one here as a tuck spot behind it. And this is a little notepad that I showed before, just to stick one of those in there. I've kept this one pretty simple. Just put a little star on there, some more colouring pages. This is from the Christmas ephemera, and then the notepad that we went through. And then I used a lot of the pockets and things in this one, and Christmas ephemera. This is from the Birth of Christ folio. Love this little tag that goes in there. And then another colouring sheet card, Christmas ephemera again. There we go, Christmas hymn ephemera. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. So each of these have a beautiful hymn on the back. Another, just use scraps of paper to create a little pocket tuck there, and then a colouring card there. The envelope, just a little sheet of something. And here we go. So this is just an old Christmas card that I put in behind this cutout that I've got from somewhere. The Christmas ephemera, hymn ephemera, I've just glued that down to the page so it's writing space. And then this is from the Birth of Christ folio. And then here I've just made a belly band from a big piece of the backing papers. That's the calico backing papers, and just put a colouring card in there. I'll put that one back in later. And then we've got the flip here with a tag, and then yep, just some little tags and things which came from a card, one of the Christmas card box sets, I think. And To All Good Night, just put that one in there. And then a belly band from scraps and a colouring page, and there we go. All right, so that's the first one. So that one's not embellished as much. This one's going to a beautiful little girl, and I love this one. So I've embellished with some embroidery flowers on the front, as you can see, and then just put a star there. I made a bit of a mess with that glitter glue. It wasn't glitter glue, I used glue and then glitter over the top, but that's okay. And then I've just put a few stars on the spine there, and then made a lace and ribbon dangle on the side. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. And then on the back here, I put one of these. This is from one of the Christmas card packs, To All a Good Night, because there was a barcode, so I just put that one on the back. And this one, I have just loved putting a lace throughout this whole journal on this one. So let's have a look. Okay, so here we've got a little side pocket where I've just reprinted photocopied this book. I can't remember why. I had something wrong with it on this side, so I popped that there. And then from the Christmas hymn ephemera, I've just put some lace on there, lace pocket, and then that's from the Birth of Christ folio, and that just sits in there. And so the vellum, this is the star one that I had. I think it was the last sheet I had in my stash. And then, as you know, we've sewn on the paper on the edges, but decided to put some lace on that one there. And then this one, instead of it being a hidden paper clip, what I've done is a magnet. So I've just folded this over. This is from the Christmas hymn ephemera. Folded it over, put a magnet down, and then covered it with paper. And so that just snaps shut. And so that's just, you can put it throughout the journal easily, but I thought that would look nice as the angel on the top there. And then the Christmas ephemera, hymn ephemera, I've just stuck that down on 3 sides, the Birth of Christ folio, just so that would go there, have a little spot. Okay, some lace. I haven't put lace on every page, but I have done it on the pages that come with the book because they're just a little bit more delicate. Mary had a little lamb on that one, so some more lace. And then don't want it to stick. Okay, so the same sort of effect here, but instead of where the little hole was, I just put a little lace cut out on those instead of a hole and ribbon. That tucks into the angel. And then For God So Loved the World, John 3:16. This actually comes from one of the Christmas card sets, and it's the Panda Bear one. That's where I had some leftovers. So let's use what we've got and then just use that one as a journal card. We'll put the angel one there. More lace. And then on this one I've embellished, and I've just used some of that Christmas ribbon. And then these words here, this one says candlelight. This one is from the Christmas word skinny version, and so there's a little tab, you'll see that in a minute, that's on the right. I just cut that off, put candlelight there. The Cozy Winter Kit, some of the fussy cuts I had, I put some lace and the little candle there. And then on this one, I've just used my offcuts of paper that I've used for the journal and backed it and made it into I've made a couple of big giant tags. And then I had some leaves left over from the front cover, and the little bird, this little bird comes from the Brostrom Cozy Winter Kit. So that's where that's come from. Okay. And then we have the envelope, you can see it on this side, and then I've just done a little fussy cut there, and I'm going to fill all the envelopes with the colouring pages. That's a page of Luke that I've put in there. Here we go, I've just put some glitter on the star and some lace on the top of that one. And this one, Every Good Gift is a Perfect Gift from Above, James 1:17. So that comes from the Panda Christmas card set. I had that one left over. And then we have a pocket from this kit, the Birth of Christ kit. And then these ones that are in that, the Birth of Christ Nativity kit. So some of the papers I've put a little bit different in this one. I'll put these two together. Then this one. Now, what I've done with these words, these skinny words, I've backed them, as you can see here, and then just punched, that's the little corner bit there, and I've just punched a hole to put an eyelet in. And so it says, Let Us Adore Him on the back. So that's sweet. Maybe could put some more in this journal on the pages that don't have lace. So I'll put this one back in later. And so the envelopes, that's got a fussy cut on the back. I had an extra page of this one, so that's just some journaling stuff that can go on there. All right, I need to keep moving along. Oh, this one I just cut the bird out again, and this was held by that little paper clip, and A Christ is Born. This one I had of quite a few of these star brads, just stuck it through the hole and then backed it so you don't see the back of it. There we go. This is from the Birth of Christ folio, so that was just something in my stash. So a little pocket, a journaling card made it into a little tuck spot. This is one of the other giant cards I did with one of the words and 3D mounting tape on there. So there we go, made a little pocket. And then these are from the Cozy Winter. I've just put a stack of the fussy cuts on there. This little strip is from the Tall Skinny Golden Christmas journal kit. So this is the vellum page, and I've just put some lace there to create a pocket. Okay, this is the second signature. So lace once again on the front of it. Some glitter glue there. You've seen that with the pad, the angel pad. Some more lace. Here, this is a pocket from the Christmas hymn ephemera. So I've just put a word Saviour on there, and then these are those little ones from the kit. Another, just use that from my stash, a little tuck. And then this page is from the mini scripture book with a box for Christmas. I love this paper. I love the poinsettias so much, and so I've just made another giant tag. There we go. That one you've seen again. Whoops. Just put away in a manger on that page, and then a little envelope with a seal. And just put, this was stuff from my own stash that I just sort of made a little pocket to put a little fussy cut in there. So they're similar but a bit different. And then once again, that's the same as the other one. Another envelope. This one I've just glued over the page, so I put a colouring page in here, just glued it there, and then so I've used different papers in this one, but this is from the Christmas ephemera. So as you can see, it's got Joy to the World, it's got the beautiful hymns on the back, and I've just mounted the star again and popped that in there. And then this is similar on the back, the flip, and this was just something from my stash. I just put a bow on that one, just trying to use up some little things that I had here and there. That's on that one. And then this little pink pocket is from the Christmas ephemera, Christmas hymn ephemera, the pocket there. Best gift ever. That's a fussy cut from the Cozy Winter kit. I'm trying to remember everything I had. This is from this kit, the Birth of Christ kit, nativity kit. So just put that with that on the top, and then once again the last bit of vellum, I have just put some lace and then a skinny one of these with that, and that's from the Cozy Winter, those little fussy cuts, and we have finished there. So I can't believe it. It's actually taken me a while to get both of them done. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you've not made one before, they're really easy to do and to adjust. So just if you want to make it this size and to keep the spine, that's about as big as you can get with them being this big. The next little golden book I don't know, I love keeping the spine, but I might make a bigger one. But it is perfect to fit. If you've not seen this, that's sticked in on the side a bit, but that's okay. My box to store this in, and it does go in perfectly in there. So that's where it's going to be stored in there. Isn't that fantastic? So if you haven't seen this box, it's one of the latest videos that I did. It's actually the box, the video, we'll link it in the description box. They're to make 6x6 gift boxes for Christmas, but I've altered the size so that I could put the journal in here. So there we go. It says a manual there, and it's got this beautiful All Holy Night on there. So have a look in the description box if you want to see how to make those. I hope you've enjoyed it. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.